We're gonna open up the Water Sewer Commissioners meeting, it's June 12th, 2024, and it is 7:20. Should we take this out of, instead of having the rate hearing, oh, the rate
No,
hearing,
you gotta open the rate hearing,
yeah,
and you can keep it open while we go through the rest of the meeting if you want,
okay.
and then close the rate hearing.
Yeah, we're gonna open up the rate hearing at the same time, and we'll continue on in case somebody comes in.
Does that have to be a motion, open it?
Uh,
I think so.
I think so,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, so it's gotta be a motion, Bob.
oh, okay.
So, make a motion to open up the rate hearing at, 7:19.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And we can keep that open during the meeting, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So
All right,
hold
we're
off
gonna-
on the rate discussion until after, unless you guys wanna have a rate discussion during this right now, I don't know.
On the rates of the fees.
Well, it says rate discussion, possible vote. I'm just saying if you wanna
Yeah, we gotta wait on that.
pass over on that until the end, so before you close the hearing, but we can go through the
Go
rest
through
of
the
it.
rest of the meeting, yeah.
Yeah.
Minutes.
All right, then we'll review and approve the minutes of the meeting. And March 20th meeting, 2024.
You wanna work backwards?
Hmm?
You wanna work backwards? We get all the way to January to approve.
Oh. Jeez. All right. Now we'll start with January 24th.
So I'll make a motion to accept the meeting minutes of January 24th, 2024.
So, go ahead, throw quickly. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I make a motion that we approve the meeting minutes from February 21st, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. March 13 mini.
Which one are we at?
March.
March 20, okay?
13th.
No, there's a 13.
Oh, there it is. Got it. I'll make a motion that we approve the meeting minutes from March 13th.
Yeah. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And May 8th meetings were canceled.
You got a March 20th.
Hmm?
You got a March 20th.
March 20. Bob was absent at that one.
I don't have a March 20th.
March
Oh,
20.
I don't have that. Let's see. Oh, yeah, okay, March
It was
20th.
out of order, so it went
Mm-hmm.
the March 13th, May, and then March.
Oh,
Yeah.
I do.
So I'll make a motion that we accept the meeting minutes from March 20th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You don't have one in April? April was canceled, was it?
Yeah, I don't think we had one.
Yeah, I think we
we
canceled
didn't
the
have
May-
one,
the
right?
April one.
Yeah.
Alright, so I only got the sewer report, you guys have a copy
Yep.
of it? So, processed 7,005,532 gallons, for an average of 225,895 gallons a day. Synagro hauled up 87,000 gallons. We wasted 138,705 gallons, for an average of 4,475 gallons a day. Used 737 gallons of alum and 0 gallons of sodium hydroxide, 335 kilowatt hours of electricity. The river average is about 107 cubic feet per second. We started the GMR QA 44. Helgerson came out, we cleaned the siphon lines and all the pump stations. And we still have issues with Synagro, which I will get into a little more with you guys later on in the meeting.
Never seen that word spelled out.
Me either, I made a
Heard it
comment about it
used,
today.
but
I'm
I've
like,
never seen it
"That's-
spelled out. That's funny.
said something about that earlier."
We don't have a water report.
No. We're doing shut-offs and notices, and we had a water leak on West Street we dealt with last night. Was that last night?
Night before.
Night before.
Yeah.
I'm losing track of the days.
I know, same thing.
Yeah, we just, way too much going on between the projects and everything.
Yeah.
Just, he hasn't had 10 minutes to sit in the office and do anything.
Okay.
Year end, I don't think we have any other financials with us.
I didn't see it. Was there any, you have a rough idea of how we'll look on that, and then is there anything that you could use that, any funds?
So we look halfway decent, it's just a matter of whether or not I can get a commitment from the company on the control panels for the SBR. Cause they bounced all over the place, so I gotta see if I can still get that done for this one. The pump for Davis Street was already ordered, I'm just waiting on that.
We still have 2 weeks after the fiscal year to encumber if we,
To encumber, but
oh,
I
you have to have a
have
contract
to have the
signed.
order contract signed
Okay.
prior to the 3rd.
Okay,
So I will see if I can get that one done.
okay.
Did you take the summer help kid down to Copeland's and let him pick out a weed whacker, cause he's gonna get real friendly with it this summer.
We have a weed whacker.
He
He utilized it some today.
might need a new one. Looks great so far. But,
So you that drove down back?
yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, we don't look too bad. I'll get you updates on the rest of that, but we didn't have it in the package here, so. Project updates. So, still dragging on a lot longer than it should have. So we're trying to finalize the Ricciardi contract, stuff that's left on that. As you guys saw, the Northeast Main got paved. We did the repaving on North and Gilboa. That wasn't at our expense, it was just a bad batch of asphalt. So we had to have them redo it because it was unraveling right
We
away.
paid for that.
Contractor, it's on them to provide the product, so I'm not sure who out of all them, whether it was just the contractor, the subcontractor, or what, but as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't really matter who paid for it, it just wasn't us.
Yes.
So, you know, North and Gilboa got repaved, Northeast Main got paved, added the curbing, that was done through a change order, so still part of the project, at no cost to the town. I think we did have some chapter 90 money that went towards the curbing and the culvert over there. So that portion of the project's done now. There's just some punch list items that we need to take care of. Some of the hydrant painting, because some of the hydrants that came in red and white, some came in red and silver. Our standard colors are red and silver, so they've got to get them all painted to the right scheme that we use. So the last thing we have left is the pump station. So on the pump station, it's up and running now. We're switched over. The old one's decommissioned and taken out. The only things left.
I did have a question on that. So they actually took that whole unit out?
No. So they go down so far, they cut it off, and they flow filled it,
Okay.
and we took everything out out of it, they flow filled it.
Like we have the pumps.
Yeah, we took all that out. Yeah. The VFDs,
Yep.
all the, the dehumidifier, all that stuff that was down there, we took out, so.
You're gonna fill that?
They
You
already,
said?
They already
already
did.
filled it
Oh,
out.
it's already
They already did.
They filled it with chlorophyll and then lumen seed, well, not lumen seed, they filled it up with process and then, flow fill, then some process, compaction, and then paved over it, so. It's in kind of that paved area now. So the only things left to do, other than punch list items, are the fence, which is supposed to be being done tomorrow. We did still have an issue with, so they came and did the load test on the generator yesterday. When the guy from the gas company came out, turned on the gas to activate it so we could start the generator up. They have a leak on Ricciardi's side, so we called them, they sent the guy out, the guy came out and said, oh, well, I can't fix it right now. But luckily the Eversource guy let us finish the load test, so we're done with that. But he locked the meter back out, so we don't have gas until they come and repair that.
So the leaks in the gas line?
Yeah. Right after the meter, it's one of the elbows. You probably know if you put those 3-inch Pro press fittings or 2 on whatever size it is. The Pro press, if you don't get it perfectly straight, you cut that gasket.
Yeah,
And
it's all
it
over.
doesn't matter how much you crimp it, it won't seal. So they got to redo that fitting. He was supposed to come out this morning. We had conversations yesterday. We talked the Eversource guy into coming out today to turn it back on. He said, you got to call for a ticket. If you put in a ticket, it's weeks down the road typically. So after talking to him a little bit, he said, all right, we'll set it up. I'll call someone. We'll get it done tomorrow if they come out and fix it. Well, it didn't get done. So the leak's still there. We didn't get the gas back on, so I don't know if they're going to make us do a ticket now or not. But that will delay getting the generator online. Like I said, the fence is supposed to go in tomorrow, between tomorrow and Friday. Once the fence goes in, they'll finish the paving, and then it's just punch list items to do the ground. Complain about something chipped on the concrete or whatever.
So that project's going pretty much finished.
So that should finalize that project. Functionality wise, everything's up and running now.
How far behind schedule are they?
They were supposed to be done with everything December 28th. They got some extensions on some of the things because of delays in shipping. Just like we had delays in getting the generators, they had a delay in getting the generator. One of the control panels, there was a delay in shipping from the manufacturer, so we agreed to an extension on those items, but not the other items, so they're still way behind on all the other things. So there is a lot that will be discussed as to missing the deadlines. Projects of the map, the North Street design is pretty much at 100%. I think we're pretty much done with the design for that. It's just a matter of, we applied for a MassWorks grant. We're trying to get $5 million for there. We won't find out about that until like October. Once we find out that, we'll know what the avenue moving forward is. I think the plan is still to move forward for next year for that project, but it's all depending on the funding and where it comes from. I don't think there's any thought of the town contributing to do the project. It's just a matter of if the developer is willing to contribute enough and if we get enough in grants. But so until we find out about the grant, we won't know what happened there.
So that'll close out once with this paving, that closes everything out.
Once they finish the pump
When
stage.
they finish the paving.
So there's a punch list that we still have to go through before we can really close out that project. And I know there's the striping in the DOT area was supposed to be 6-inch, they did 4-inch. So they have to redo that. I think that's kind of a punch list item, but in order to close out the DOT, because you have to call and request an inspection, and DOT will probably come out with their punch list saying, oh, you gotta do this, this, and this. One of the things before we even applied for the the inspection was, you put down 4 inch, it's gotta be 6 inch. So they have to redo the striping. I didn't check today to see if they did that yet or not. I have a feeling they didn't. So they'll have to correct that. And then, like I said, we still have to notify DOT that the work's done in their area. They come out, do an inspection, whether they accept it or don't accept it, or if there's whatever punch list items they come up. So that's kind of the biggest hang up on closing out. Most of the punch list items that we have are pretty minor, should be easy to fix.
So that all has to be closed out in order for the other grant to move forward, right? That's up, how I understand it.
That was my understanding, is why we missed last year's grant, was because we had open grants currently going. So it would definitely be helpful if we close this out to increase our chances of getting the future.
Pavement come out nice.
Yeah,
They did nice.
I think both of them came out nice.
Yeah, actually both of them.
Just gotta, we gotta get the striping redone now. But overall, I think everything, it looks good.
Yep.
It's nice and smooth on the roads now, so.
So once they do the striping, we'll be able to close out.
Well, we gotta do the striping, DOT's gotta give us their punch list. You know, I don't know what their punch list would consist of. So, like I said, that's the biggest factor on closing it out, is the DOT punch list. The items that I see on our punch list are fairly easy to get done. So, but yeah, it'd be nice to get these projects closed out, signed off, the grants closed out, all the funding reimbursed, whatever. So for other projects, the lead service line inventory, that's still ongoing. We have to have that done by October 15th or something like that.
What's that for the lead pipe?
For any lead service lines, one of the new state requirements were we have to submit a service line inventory to the state by, like I said, mid-October. And we got a grant to have Time Bond come out and do the majority of that work. So we're gathering a lot of data to provide to Time Bond. Who's doing the engineering for that. So we have until October to get that plan submitted to the state. The sewer asset management, I think that was finalized. The water asset management, we're ongoing right now. Should be done by fall. The Monroe Davis Street, I think we're about 50% on that design. Part of that includes investigating a new potential well site, so a well exploration. We were looking at down in the Davis Street area, somewhere down around that area. But it's kind of to support any growth that goes on down there as part of the site readiness grant that we got to do the design for the water and sewer down there. So part of that is to make sure we have sufficient supply, which is why we're exploring a new source. So it doesn't necessarily need to be in the Davis Street area. I know that at one of the meetings they were talking about it's land up at the top of Caswell. They call it Caswell Caves or
Castle Caves.
Castle Caves.
Yeah.
There was discussion on handing that over to conservation, and I would prefer that if we want to explore if there's a potential for a source up there, I'd rather do that before they hand it over to conservation. So we may use the funds that are available through the grant from the Monroe Davis Street project to go explore up there. So that's just part of what we've been discussing.
Where else do we have any potential water supply?
Well, we have a few. So, I mean, we have the aquifer protection. You see kind of the big group of green there. That's our main area now. But then the lower one, that's down like South Street, down that end of town. The other one's kind of over in the Cedar Street area. And then the other one's up between Manchog and White Hills.
Oh yeah, that's up by the mill, sawmill up there that used to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what, okay.
Yeah, so those are kind of three big areas that were identified. So if we don't get anything out of, you know, up in that area, I mean, the benefit of finding something up there where Castle Caves was is the elevation. You know, if you can get a source up at that elevation, we'll save a ton of money on electricity. You know, only pumping it with that head instead of pumping it from where we do now.
Right.
You know, right now we're pumping it over, you know, 100 and something feet high. You know, if we get it up there, we'd only be pumping it, you know, 50 feet.
I mean, there could be water up there, because you think about it, the Cascade is really big, that whole bedrock ridge that runs right through there.
Right.
So it could be.
And the water just
Yeah.
comes out of the ground. I mean, it
Yeah.
might just be
Be
shelf
shelved,
water,
right,
but
right.
we could have water up there, and if we do, it would be beneficial.
Winslow Water has on the other side, crossover,
Right.
go on the other side of that.
Yeah. Well, and I've got the reports,
Mhm.
so I got all the reports from Preventure Engineering, because what you're saying, just over on the other side,
Right.
they were doing a bunch of test wells and stuff.
Yeah.
So I have all the reports from them. They reached out to ask us if we had concerns about them having wells because it's so close to the line.
Mhm.
So I'm reviewing all their stuff, and you know, I'll get back to something on that.
Five, residential fire.
That's good.
146 Drive. Five, residential fire.
So
146
the last project that we're still in the middle of is the Depot Street. So the engineering's moving forward. We have a few more documents they requested to get the survey and stuff done, to put the service lines and the laterals in the survey. I would assume they should have something pretty soon for a material list as to what we need. Actually, I think I already saw a draft on that. So if we can put the material out to bid, that way we can get that awarded and get material ordered. And that'll utilize some of the ARPA funds that we have available for the project.
That'll end up not being a loop, right?
No, not necessarily. So right now, it's a delayed part right now because DCR put a new rule in place, Article 87 or 97, whatever the article is that they put in. It's a new process for getting an easement through their areas or right-of-ways or property. But they say it's a 2-year process, so there's no way I can get it done in time to get it as part of this contract. We'll design it so it goes up there and design so that we can continue that once we get through that process. But it would just be the short run from where Depot ends with the railroad track to go down the railroad track over to Martin Road.
2-year process. That goes to show you how the wheels of government work.
Yep.
A process that should, in the private sector, would take.
It would take 5 minutes in a meeting with someone, and someone runs down to the registry to record it.
Within, I mean, a week it could be done. Discussion could be had. It could have been a sidewalk looking, and an easement could have been granted.
Yep.
In the private sector, government 2 years.
So
And that's running the water down by the side of the railroad tracks like?
yeah, we want to run it down the old rail trail and just get it to connect over to Martin. And that was a plan that long before I was even here. I think you guys had it in your plan. I think you had your record still for when you guys had that listed as one of your capital projects.
Looping it all the way down Monroe, coming down Monroe all the way.
Yeah, so that's what I said. If we got to go through a 2-year process,
Yeah.
what I'd like to do is see if we could get the easement, you know, quite a ways down the rail trail because elevation-wise, it's pretty flat.
Yeah.
And we could end up looping over to like Glen Street because our water main's only a short distance from the
Yeah.
Glen Trail.
Yeah.
So if we could loop it over there, and then we could go all the way over to, like you said, over to Monroe,
And that's what the original plan showed, it coming all the way down and looping
and then
back.
looping back down to Davis Street.
Yeah.
So ideally, that would be what I'll shoot for. So.
Well, and not for nothing, even if you kept going all the way to South Street. And then
I thought of that too.
That
South.
could even resolve, I mean, with a booster pump, but you could resolve some of the issues that they're having up in, some of those developments with water and what have you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we wouldn't resolve the sewer issue that they're having down there, but
No, but the
could at least
water issue
provide
with,
water, yeah.
there's some of those people up there have pretty poor quality wells. So.
I think there was no sewer issues, I don't believe.
I don't know if they have any sewer
Yeah, no,
issues,
I
but
know they had the well.
I think
well
the sewer issue that I'm referring to is that with the volume of houses that they had originally discussed, they would need sewer in order to do that. So without sewer down there, they're gonna scale back the electricity. But yeah, that's what I wanted to look at to make sure we covered the full gamut of where we might want to go down that rail trail. If we got to go through a 2-year process, we might as well make it worth it. And then if we had to scale it back, depending on feedback from them, we'll go with what we need to. But
Well, and you can even put a spin on it. They could, you know, you could put in watering troughs for the horses and
So-
everything. I mean, you
Yeah,
could
that's what I
even,
said.
and that's what
said
I
that-
thought.
I
Is
said that to somebody.
you put a watering station for horses or dogs. You know, there's a lot of people that walk that trail.
Oh, yeah.
And then, you know, we could even make it available that, you know, DCR owns that whole little parking area up at the top of Depot. And I know when I was out on snowmobiles, I seen them a couple times parked up there with their trailer. I don't know if they're on 4-wheelers or snowmobiles or what, but if they ever wanted to put a little DCR office or station in there for the game wardens or whatever,
flush
you know,
toilets on the rail trail.
there you go. I mean, you know, the people that are walking or hiking or biking those trails,
Once,
they're not stopping to knock on people's doors to.
I get 1,000,000 miles on those trails.
So if we had a spot that, you know, DCR had a bathroom up there, it's negotiating points, I guess.
Yeah.
So I think that's about all I got for the project updates right now. We have enough going on still. So I guess we're on a future agenda, unless you guys got any other questions on the project. What did I say I was going to discuss? I said we'll discuss that after.
Synagro.
Yes. So I got a letter today from Synagro. We send it to Woonsocket, Rhode Island. I guess Woonsocket decided that it's not worth it to them with all the wear and tear with the trucks and the odors and stuff from the treatment plant and the maintenance on the treatment facility. The letter says that they're not going to accept out of state waste anymore. So that kind of puts us in a bind. In Synagro's letter, they're trying to encourage them to extend it for 2 years to give us time to find an alternative. We don't know if they're going to accept that resolution or not.
What's the current date?
There was no date. So seems like they could just say, yeah, we're done taking it. The only other option I know right now that we have is New York. So
Yeah.
the trucking costs will
Costs on that.
go up significantly.
What's the Upper Blackstone? Is that,
We're small enough that we might be able to, and I've had Peter working on getting us approved to. I mean, we were always kind of going that route to have a backup plan, but it's been a long process, and Upper Blackstone is not the easiest to work with.
yeah,
They require a lot of testing, and
yeah.
their requirements are pretty stringent. So, but being a bedroom community, and I think the majority of people's concerns right now would be PFAS, because all the treatment plants are going to have to start testing for PFAS. And where we're not triggering any of the levels right now on the drinking water side, and we don't really have a lot of industry, I don't see anything that would be contributing PFAS to us, so our levels coming out of the treatment plant should be fairly low. So I think ours would be kind of more desirable for a waste stream for them. More so than a lot of the other towns that are getting hit with high levels. So we'll see where that goes. But like I said, we were already working on Upper Blackstone a while ago. So.
They're always on the news for dumping into the Blackstone. I think is that the one?
Which one?
Upper Blackstone?
Well, Upper Blackstone and Woonsocket.
They're always on.
They had discharges
When they
going.
get floods, it's always
Yeah. So
overflowing into the.
I'm gonna drive it up the road and it's just gonna come back down.
Yeah, right by us.
guess that's all that I have.
One thing that I don't think we had the opportunity to do, and I don't know if it's gonna be an agenda meeting, but there was an election, so we need to reorganize.
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna say, I was gonna suggest that, but I didn't see it on the agenda,
Yeah, it's
so.
not on the agenda. Do you wanna wait till we can get it on an agenda?
Is it not on this agenda? Because I thought I had talked to Lee and I thought she said she did an amendment to the agenda.
Yeah.
Let me just look and see if it's.
Unless,
See if it's posted. Maybe it didn't end up on the paper.
So I
and it's
mean, maybe she
posted.
didn't print.
Print it, but it might be posted online. If not, we can wait for the next one. No big deal.
I guess we can't see what came up today. We have the agenda stuff. It is online.
It is online?
Yeah, so you can see the red
Okay.
organization.
Okay.
Reorg.
All right, so we can
When-
So it is listed on the agenda.
was it done in time? though?
Amended. For an amended agenda, you don't have to do it. I think she did do it in time, but
Okay,
for an amended agenda, you can do it the same day as the meeting.
oh, you can,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, okay, so as long as the agenda's posted?
Yep.
48 hours, okay,
And that actually came in on Monday,
okay.
so at 9:21 a.m. So as of 9:21 this morning, we're legit, even if it wasn't an amendment.
I don't think I got that, did she? I don't think I got it, did
It's on the website.
Yeah.
I know, but she usually emails us whenever the agendas and stuff.
Who, Lee?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I don't know if she had, I don't know if she emailed it to you, but it was sent, and this is the town's website that it came up on. So
no, I just have the old one from
I know she reached out to me and said she had to amend the agenda because she needed to get the reorg on that because she forgot about it. So she'll be getting on there in time. Like I said, I remember her saying it. That's why when you mentioned it, I'm like, wait a minute, I know we had that discussion. So it is on the agenda.
All right. I guess we'll get some here real quick.
Is there anything else? Was that the only thing?
That's
On the amended?
Yep. Yeah, she puts it in red on the amended. It's only reorg.
Okay.
Don't have her print the amended one so you can put it in your files.
Sorry, I didn't put it-
I'm good.
What was the date that was amended? Just so I can put it amended on Monday? you said?
Monday, yeah. Monday, and I got the notification at 9:21 a.m.
I don't think anybody's gonna question a reorg. With some of the hot topic on something, somebody might, some technicality.
We try to
Yeah.
slip something in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna do each individual one, right?
Yep,
Or we just do it all as one.
that's true. You could.
All right. I make a motion that we keep the current organization of the Water and Sewer Board the same.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You survive another chairmanship.
No chance of getting out of it.
No.
We wanted to lump it all into one so you couldn't say no.
All right, so we still have the rate hearing open.
Yeah. And the, I see.
The rate discussion and possible votes.
I see that, I just wanted to say for a future topic on the, was there another application you had said? There was,
I couldn't find it, so I do have one other one. It's Jordan. Jordan Toll.
so probably just get that printed out and then, did you call either one of them?
I spoke to both of them.
Spoke to both of them? Okay. And then, did you speak to him after the application or before the application? Yeah,
One
now
before,
you were
one
told,
after. Yeah,
you
both
told him.
before and one after.
Okay.
So
Which one did you speak to after? That's
the one that you have.
Okay. Did you want to,
He actually called today. So.
did he? Did you want to, set up a meeting, have him come in and just, you
Yep.
know, go through that? I'd like to look at the other applicant
Yep.
as well.
Yeah, do you have a copy of those applications? There's one in here?
Yeah, very last part of that
page.
package. So just go right to the end.
I mean, this one here, I think would be, what the applicants we have, I haven't looked at the other one yet, but this one is primarily what we're looking for. So maybe we can have, if you give him, have him come in, talk to them, and then, we'll just set up a,
So did you want to
set
have,
up a meeting and then.
like I've only got the 2 that applied for that one.
Yeah.
So did you want to have interviews with the board, or how do you want to proceed with that?
What do you guys want to do?
I don't think we need a board.
No.
No.
I think we should set the hook as fast as we can.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, maybe have just one of us
Yeah.
participate.
All right.
And I think you'll need one person anyways, don't you?
I can do it any way you want.
Well, this is the labor position.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, it's just labor only?
yeah, labor, yeah, yeah. So we get 2 applicants for that. And we've got ads running for,
The other 2 positions.
yeah, and where are those?
The trade sites.
Trade sites.
Did you ever talk to that guy I gave you the number for?
I think I talked to him once, but I got to reach back out to him. So, and I have,
He was for the wastewater.
so I have one on each side that I got to reach back out to. Both seem like they'd be good candidates, so if we can set the hook on them too, it'd be great.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Um, I can't think of anything.
No, nothing outside. I've got questions about the fees and the rates and the hearing and stuff.
Do you know this Josh Gilbert?
Yeah, I know his family.
So the previous meeting, we had a packet. And then we had the previous meeting, and we discussed changes to certain fees and what have you. And then we have a rate hearing today, come into a meeting, and I've got a different proposal in front of me that I hadn't seen before. I saw it when I sat down here. So,
So some of it is just a condensed version.
so some of it is the condensed, and that's easy to see
Yeah.
there and very reasonable and saves a piece of paper, so that's great. So just like an explanation on the drain layers license is listed on the proposed fees, and that wasn't in the previous packet that we reviewed at the previous meeting. So what's that?
Um,
I didn't even see that one.
are you sure that wasn't on the other one?
Nope, I got it right here. May 28th. I don't see drain unless it's in a different line. But
What was that for, drain layers license?
yeah,
Drain layers,
So I
don't they get that through?
No, drain line is just the rest.
It's through.
No.
We've always had it. It's required
Okay.
to have a drain layer, so I think it was just an oversight because we don't see new drain layers very often.
okay.
So we just I think that Lee actually caught that we may not have had it on the list. I just didn't recall if she caught it before we did the last ones or if she caught it after.
Yeah. Alright, so then the hydrant connection permit, so I would just ask that on the fee list, we add hydrant connection permit, not just hydrant permit,
So
because we discussed it as a hydrant connection permit.
okay, so you just want the
So I think,
hydrant connection.
just so it's clearer
Okay.
that it's.
I agree.
would-
Was that for the landscapers hooking on to a hydrant?
Yeah,
I
so
couldn't,
that's,
I didn't get any numbers. I called, actually, I talked with, I was trying to get the numbers what Oxford charges, and he wasn't sure when I talked to him. He wasn't 100% sure. He goes, we do it. He said, it's a small fee. He said primarily, they have, they take on waste trucks that come in. He said they make a lot of money on that,
oh, that's for,
on the suicide.
right,
But
yeah.
I said we can't.
The
we
septage,
can't, yeah,
we
we
weren't
can't,
designed
we can't
for
do that.
septage,
Yeah. But he said that he wasn't sure on the fee. He said it wasn't very much. He said there's not that many.
Most of them are typically $100, and that's where we came up with the number, because that's what I've always historically seen, was typically $100. So some of what probably needs to be discussed there, which is part of going through the policy and the permit itself to establish it, is I would look at that, we would need to have some kind of deposit if they were to use our meter and our backflow. The hydrant meter that we had for a while down here, which we almost never used, but they used it at the school when they were doing the construction, it got destroyed by the contractor, so we ate that. So we had to buy a new one and everything, so. A lot of times you put these things out, they're big, the backflow preventer's a giant brass thing, weighs a lot. The hydrant meter's fairly expensive. So I think we should have some kind of deposit to cover if it gets stolen, broken, whatever by whoever's using it. I think ultimately most of the bigger sites, like these contractors that are using it for dust control, where they're using it a lot, most of those contractors will provide their own meter and backflow, which is what I would prefer. That way, when we're doing stuff that we have our hydrant meter and we can use it. But, and I'm not saying do the deposit for a deterrent. We need to be able to recover our costs if they destroy it when it gets stolen. Because we can't afford to just keep replacing it. So, like I said, that needs to be part of the permit itself. That, yeah, it's $100 fee for the permit, but you have to have a deposit if you're utilizing our equipment on the hydrant.
The only thing I'm going to see on the hydrant fee for the hydro seeders, some of the big tanks that come in, they got 1,000. One of those big tankers that come in for the hydro seeders, 5,000 gallons.
I think they're usually 2,500, but I
2,500.
think they do have like a 5,000.
So they would probably justify 100, but I can tell you that Tom Tebow, Rich Gomez, when they get the small tanks, they're only 300 gallon tanks, and their charge to spray a tank is like $350. So I know that there's no way that they would want to pay $100 when they only, that's 25% of what.
Yeah, and some of those guys may not want to use,
So,
Well, Rich had asked me about it a while back, because he's hooking in to get water, but
right, but like I said, so there's more discussion that needs to be had on it. I mean, I think the permit fee is pretty standard, but as you can see, we have our setup out here now. We're coming into summer, and that's when hydro seeders or paving companies want to come down, and there's street sweepers. All the different stuff that goes on. When they're doing regrind, they usually fill up a tanker truck. A couple of years in a row, we had PJ Keaton come down, and they were just a bunch of trips. So I don't have a problem if you guys, when we discuss that policy and that permit structure, as to saying it's $100 fee for the summer for someone like Tebow with a small truck if he's doing local stuff. We already have it set up here, so as long as he comes down here to fill up, they get the permit so that we know about it. We have something we can log what the start and stop number is on the meter. Just a way to calculate their usage. But for someone like that, I don't see a problem having a permit so that, like the drain layer, I mean, they come in one time for the year and it's good for the year. if you have that hydrant connection permit,
Yeah. I
they
see what
apply
you're saying.
for it, we know they're approved to
Yeah.
use it, we're already set up for it, it's not, you know, if they wanna go to different hydrants, and I gotta go up and set it up,
Yeah, that's like.
Yeah, that's
it's some
different.
work to do, I don't, if they only need 300 gallons, that's a lot of work for us to set it up for that. But if they're willing to come down here and do it, and they have
I
the
don't think
permit,
they have a
they
problem.
can just come in. I mean, that's just the way I saw it solved.
Yeah,
the
that
issue
would,
here.
that would solve the issue, yeah.
So I think for $100 fee to have you good for the year, I don't think that's too much to
Yeah,
ask.
no, that would be, that's reasonable.
And the other thing is, you know, we discussed it a little bit at the last meeting, I think, is we're floating it out there as for the big project over here is to get like a vending machine, so to say,
Yeah.
where it's set up and they can come up and just hit a card,
Mhm.
fill up and go. So all the necessary equipment that we would have for backflow prevention, you know, automatic valves to keep from water hammer, all that would be built into that station. And then they'd just be charged whatever the rate is that we decide for bulk water sales.
All right, so we need a little more of a policy.
Yeah. Okay.
But I
So-
think for the fee purpose, I mean,
Yeah.
we won't charge it until we have the policy and the permit in place, but because we're doing the rates, I'd rather get
Yeah,
them
get it in.
implemented now, and then if there's a need for it, we'll have it.
Construction.
So for the construction meter we discussed last one, so just if you just, so the $100 is gonna cover the installation of that and then the removal of that?
So
Or are
for,
we just handing that to them and they're installing it?
no, we'll put it in, I don't want to have somebody else install it, so we would come out and install it. So for the construction one, that's, you know, the way we had kind of discussed it at the
Yeah, we
last
talked
meeting
about the
was,
last one, yeah.
we'll just come out and swap it at that point, it'll be
Yeah.
like the new meter installation, so it's not
So
much.
was that, did you talk to Lee about that? And would be any conflict on the whole billing thing? Could there be a separate bill just for that? That would need to go through Munis, on the, well, through Munis, but not
It would
through-
go through Munis, but it
not
wouldn't be
through the-
that account.
Yes, yes.
So it would be similar to something that we would have did for like the circus, where
Yeah,
we used to do
yeah.
that.
And then the demand fee is, we have a limit on that,
The
right?
demand fee was set by the town.
The demand fee set by the town, but we don't,
With I think the highest we could go was 30, based on the state rules.
I wasn't talking about the actual demand fee. Don't we have, the department, don't we have something in place where we don't demand if it's like 18 cents or something?
No, the demands we have to do. We don't
Demand.
do shut-offs if it's under a certain dollar amount.
That's right. Okay, all right. I just wanted to clarify that in my head, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's the end
Because
of a long
the-
I think
day.
it was $50 or $100. It was less than.
We had said whatever the shut-off fee was. We don't want to charge someone more
Right.
for shutting them off than they owe to begin with.
Right, yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
and
want to say it was
yeah,
$100.
yeah.
is what we
I
said.
just I needed a refresher in my squash, so.
Yeah, and the demands is required because we
Yeah.
can't put a lien in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, is this gonna be, this can be handed to a customer if requested, right?
Once we're done and it's all approved, we're gonna put it on the website. So it'll be available to anyone, and yeah, we can have it. We can have copies printed out here to hand them out if they need them. But I think we had discussed that originally, that we wanted all the fees on the website, so it's,
Yeah.
hey, anybody can find them and see them.
Do you think you should put out there like sprinkler charge where it says 4, should you put inch? So people, I mean, it's common knowledge, but
Yeah,
just,
yeah, I can.
I understand it, you understand it, but somebody else might, but what is that, what's a 4?
Yep. And we did add 10, just because there is a 10-inch fire line.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't have 7 in there, you don't have 9 in there, because they don't make those sizes.
Right.
So
Is the biggest one you'd ever get would be 12 inches?
that's the biggest I could see. The
I guess it's just
608,000 square foot building has a 10-inch. The 1.1 million has a 12-inch feeding the fire pump, but only a 10-inch going out of it.
yeah, I don't think of anything.
So
bigger.
that's what I was gonna say. I don't see needing more than that.
So we're going up 30 stories.
But I think we have bylaws in place that will let them go over whatever many feet, 50 feet or whatever. it is.
35. 35 feet.
That's for a house. Is that for a commercial building?
I think it's any building, yeah.
Really?
Yep. Sutton raised theirs to 40
45
something,
or
just for that
50, yeah,
whole,
just-
yeah, just to get that project they had up there.
Is there any other discussion?
Some private hydrant fee. Do we bill for private hydrant fee
We do.
currently?
Yeah.
We have been? Okay. So on the backflow, that is that what the guy charges for that? $50?
I think we paid 35.
Okay, all right. That's been the same for a long time, so that's why I
Yes, it
just
has.
wondered.
He hasn't raised his prices
Okay.
on us since he's been here. I actually just went over with him beginning of this week. We went and did the new buildings.
He's happy with that price?
If he's happy, we're happy, right?
Hmm.
But that's something we're gonna have to look at in the next couple of budgets. Because I think he's gonna be retiring within a couple of years, so.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing too is if we ever went to quarterly billing or something, we could revisit a few of these things.
Yeah, we could do that. We can, I mean, it needs to be amended at any meeting. We can, as long as it's posted meeting, we can amend the fees.
And then for policies, somewhere down the road, it'd be nice to see a booklet of some sort.
We haven't, what we have for policies, we have in a 3-ring binder out there.
Yeah. So, but I wouldn't be opposed to having something go to a printer and, you know, so it's, you can hand it out.
Would you wanna print a binder or a book of policies, or you just wanna have them on the website? Cause I think we are adding them to the website.
Yeah, I mean, the
Not sure
website
it's
too,
already there,
but, I mean, sometimes, you know, some of these guys are better off throwing a book on the dashboard of their pickup, so they've got it, you know. There's still a few guys out there with flip phones, you know.
Yeah.
I see a few. Not too many, but
Yeah.
there are a couple.
How long do we have to keep the hearing open? Remember?
Half hour,
I think
right?
a half hour. is
Half
enough.
hour. Okay. I'm good. Alright, so I make a motion that we close the rate hearing at 8:11.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Do you guys need to vote on the rates as discussed, or?
It's rates and fees, right?
Yep.
Because we added stuff to the fees.
Yep.
So, and when I make the motion, I'll make it as amended, because we're gonna add in the word inch after sprinkler charges, and we're gonna add the word connection after hydrant. For the hydrant connection permit. Alright. You wanna do them both at the same time, or you wanna do two motions?
It's up to you.
And they were doing the same time.
Same time? Alright. Alright, I make a motion that we approve the proposed new the proposed new rates for the water and sewer department, proposed on June 12th, 2024, and the proposed fees that were proposed on June 12th, 2024 as amended.
Second?
All in favor?
I,
Aye.
you vote?
Aye, yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. I was looking at the date on the rate one. Do you have on your rate one, what's the date on that?
Well, proposed June 12th, because that's today. Start date would be the new fiscal year.
Yeah. 7/1, okay, because, yeah, okay. Let me make sure I don't get them all mixed up. They're all dated, so that's good, okay. That's good.
So you call it at the top, you gotta write this, yeah, on the top, you gotta write this one's stupid.
Yeah.
So then you know that that's the one.
Yeah, I always had, I need to put final. I just go by the dates, the last one's usually the one, and then I write final on it, and I know it.
I never started the tape recording.
Anything else?
I'm all set.
Open session, not reasonably anticipated.
I'm good.
I'm good. Make a motion to adjourn at 8:15.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.